Okay, so for our walking ankling drill, ankling is a very famous sprinting drill that a lot of people know, but I think it can be improved, and this is how I think it can be improved. Traditionally, it's done up on the toes like this, and people just walk forwards with their heels as high off the floor as possible. The idea being we're trying to create some calf stiffness ready for running and in particular sprinting. However, what that doesn't do is it doesn't train the calf to integrate well with the rest of the leg. And it also doesn't train the calf, like when we sprint and when we run, we're not up on our tiptoes like this. So I think, number one, rather than having your heels as high as you can, you're gonna have your heels just floating off the floor like this here, okay? And then as I walk forwards, all I'm gonna be doing is lifting my feet up and attacking the floor. And what I'm aiming to get is that when my foot attacks the floor, I don't want my heel to drop too much. There'll be a small drop, but basically that's your intent. Heels floating off the floor, you're walking forwards as you're attacking the floor and trying not to let that heel drop down. Point number two then is, well, how do we teach this kind of aggressive ground contact to integrate with the rest of the leg? And what we're gonna do is, as my right foot hits the floor, I've got my hands on my hips right now. Rather than my hips staying level like this, as my right foot hits the floor, you're gonna see my left side of my pelvis lift up, like that. And now as my left foot hits the floor, you're gonna see the right side of my pelvis lift up, like that. So now as I walk towards you, I've got my heels floating slightly off the floor. I'm gonna be working on that calf stiffness and reactivity, but integrating that with movement of the pelvis. So you look a bit funny, but as I push my right side into the floor, the opposite side of my pelvis lifts up, and the same at my left.